Hey everybody, Cajun Reviews for You coming straight at you again today. Today I want to talk to you about the precision screwdrivers that I have and use in my job, in my career. I have several different varieties here. I have multiple different brands. I got some Wera, I have some Weha, some Milwaukee, some Klein, and another Weha right here, and a couple more Kleins, and I also have one that I managed to find. This one actually comes from Harbor Freight. I don't know the brand of this, but you know, it comes from Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh, I think. Yeah, Pittsburgh. This is the Pittsburgh brand from Harbor Freight. Anyway, just wanted to talk to y'all today about what I use, how I use, and what they're used for. So, what I tend to have on me the most, and because I normally carry these in my shirt pocket, I normally have on like a button-down work shirt that I have a pocket right here, pretty much, basically. And I carry these Wera. These are ESD screwdrivers, electrostatic discharge screwdrivers. So they're not supposed to allow static that may be developed in my body transfer into the screwdriver shaft and into the piece of equipment that I'm working on. These right here actually are the Wera 1550 ESD and the 1578 ESD micro precision screwdrivers. This is an 1/8 inch tip and a Phillips #1. Like I said, I normally keep these in my pocket right here for easy access. I don't know why, I'm just a nerd and tend to carry all this stuff on me. I got a pocket full of stuff. I'm almost top heavy because of all the junk that I collect in my pocket. I say junk, but stuff that I collect in my pocket. These tools have worked out pretty good because of the way this shaft is made right here. So this got a spin cap on it right here that turns. I normally grab it like this. This part of the handle is a little bit bigger than, say, this part right here and this part. So it's easier to grab and turn it like this. If you need to really put some torque, I normally grab it like this and turn like that. The spin cap kind of sits against my palm like this and just allows the screwdriver to rotate like such, and I don't have to really worry about the driver turning or blistering my hand, because it's not really even rubbing on my hand because the cap is spinning. So these are some pretty nice tools. I like these. These are, like I said, electrostatic ones. I don't know how handy that would ever come in, because I don't normally ever grab the shaft of the screwdriver the steel part of the screwdriver shaft when I'm working on a piece of equipment anyway. But I guess to be safe and in like clean environments where there's no static allowed or anything on very sensitive electronics, I can see where this would play a role. I just got them because these were the ones most available on Amazon, and I just wanted to check them out and see. But they do serve the purpose. So what I have here next is my Weha precision drivers. This is actually the one I probably use the most. I'm a commercial fire alarm technician. I work on a lot of small devices with small screws. This is actually a 3.5 millimeter flat blade screwdriver. I tend to use this one the most just because it fits on the screw easier. Let's see, this is an 1/8 inch right here, just to compare it. So this one is just a little bit wider than this. This is an 1/8 inch and this is 3.5 millimeter. So just better comparison would be, this is a 3 millimeter, the Wera. This is 3.5. So you can see that the Weha is just a little bit wider. It does just seem to fit on little screws easier and better, and gives me a better grip on those screws and allow me to turn it. It does have a spin cap just like the other ones. These screwdrivers have a shaft that's kind of like hexed on the end right here. It's almost like made like a nut, so to speak, to where you can grab it and turn it like this. And then the cap sits against my palm and rotates just like that. So this one's pretty easy to work with. I like this good grip right here on this. If a screw is tight, to allow me to turn it, you know, loosen, tighten or loosen, whatever I need to do. This is not a pry tool though. So I've broke screwdrivers before, you know, just for caution that this is not a pry tool. So I use that one pretty regularly. I also have this Weha. This is the 26192. It's a set of 5 screwdrivers. These are the longer ones. The handles are made just the same as the other one, and obviously this part of the shaft is longer. The handle is about the same, well, it is the same, but pretty much the same length. The handles are the same length. This one right here is the 3mm right here. This is a 3mm, so this is about an 1/8 inch wide screwdriver tip right here. Allows me to reach into something. I normally, if I'm working on something, I normally want to try to back away from that piece of equipment, you know, in case it sparks or whatever happens, to move my face away from the equipment. You know, just, I mean, things happen. You can never predict things. Anyway, you know, not all the time, but sometimes I want to just move away from a piece of equipment, or sometimes a screw might be inside of recessed inside of a hole where you need to reach in there and grab that screw. So sometimes, you know, they might be that far into another hole where you need to slide a screwdriver into the hole to turn the screw. These have worked out pretty well for me. This one right here must be the 4mm. This one's a 4mm. This is a Phillips #1. And this one is Phillips #0, I think. Yeah, Phillips #0. And this one right here must be 2.5mm. It is 2.5mm. These work out pretty well. I obviously don't carry all these screwdrivers with me all the time, but these pretty much stay in my bag. When I need them, I go get them. It's not something I keep on me all the time, but this is a nice little set, honestly. It's just perfect in my opinion. So I also have some Milwaukee drivers. This is a Phillips #1 Milwaukee precision screwdriver, and honestly, this is what I started with. I don't know, I'd say probably 7-8 years ago. I originally started. I started a lot long before that, and had some little short screwdrivers from Irwin and wherever. I picked them up at Lowe's. You know, Klein was not something that was available in the big box stores at the time. Milwaukee was really only power tools at that time. They weren't doing hand tools. But anyway, I say this is what I started with because I've probably been running with this probably about 8 years. Maybe not this specific driver, but this set. So this comes in a set at Home Depot. They're about $23 for the set, but it is the Milwaukee brand. This is a Phillips #1. And honestly, this screwdriver, or ones exactly like it, have been a workhorse for me. They just fit and they just work well. So there's a non-slip grip right here on the handle. It does have a spin cap built into it, and it just fits. The #1 Phillips #1 just fits. And what this thing really works out well for is on the master breaker locks. If you use the lockout locks to put on a 120 volt breaker, you set that on there. This driver fits perfectly on the little set screw to lock the breaker lock onto the breaker itself. And this thing just works out great. It's a little bit longer than the Wera ones, and I normally prefer that. See, it's a little bit longer. And I also do like that this spin cap is a little bit bigger than the Wera. See, I do kind of like that. It's better to get a firm. It's easier to get a firm grip on this thing if you've got to put some muscle behind a screw. This thing has been a workhorse. So this one is right here is more recent to me. This is a 4-in-1 from Milwaukee, bought it at Home Depot. This is the 1/8" flat blade screwdriver. It has 2 other tips inside of it. You just pull it apart and has the smaller tips inside of it. I normally use the 1/8 flat blade. I mean, that's a common thing. The spin cap works pretty well. I do like it. It's easy to work with. Non-slip coating right here on the handle to grip with. It also has the little edges right here where you can put the right size combination wrench right here to really, if you really got to put some torque on something, not that I would do that, but you could slide a wrench on right here and help to turn it with a wrench. What I don't like about this tool is this collar right here always seems to get into the way of something right next to the screw that I'm trying to turn. And the other thing I don't like about this is the length of this shaft. So if you compare these, you see, I just don't care for the length. I wish it was a little longer. But this is the 3.5mm Weehaw I was talking about a minute ago. This is the Milwaukee 4-in-1. You know, this one is actually a little longer. The Weehaw is a little longer. You know, but I prefer them about this length. This is a Klein, but I prefer the shafts to be about this length. You know, that's the perfect length for me right there. But this thing right here just gets in the way. I've also had an instance where I was turning the screw. I think it was a Phillips screw. I was turning, working on some piece of equipment somewhere. This tip came out of the end of this thing and stayed on the screw. You know, I don't care for that either. I normally don't like to use multi-bit precision drivers for that reason, because they just, I don't know, it's just not in there too securely, in my opinion. And, you know, there's probably a fine line in making it secure in there and making it hard to remove too. But I don't know. I just don't care for it. But anyway, I do use it, but it's not something that I would go to all the time. So it does ride in my tool pouch, and it works okay for most applications. But if I have my choice, I'm gonna pull out this Wera 3.5mm one right here. So what I also have here, this is another one of those Milwaukee drivers I was just talking about. This is the Klein 1/8" flat blade screwdriver right here. This is about the perfect length. It has a spin cap on it right here. The shaft is a little bit longer on this. So you see the difference in the length right here. This one's a little bit longer. It is not a multi-bit screwdriver. This has a hardened tip on it. It's not a pry tool, screwdriver only. This part of it does not really get in the way. I guess you could theoretically put a wrench on here, the right size wrench, to help to turn a tightened or a stubborn fastener. This has not really gotten in the way for me. It has this little rubberized coating on the handle right here, make it easy to turn, and the spin cap. I use this one a lot too. This one's got some wear and tear on it. The colors on the black part of the tip there is kind of getting worn out. I've used this one a lot. I do like it. It was part of a set, I think, but where the rest of them are at this point, I don't really know. Anyway, so these right here are my insulated drivers. And what I've predominantly used for precision drivers, insulated precision drivers, is these Klein drivers. So these right here, about the same length as this Klein I was just talking about. The blade width is about the same, 1/8" on both. In fact, it says 1/8" on both of them. These are insulated, so normally if I'm working on a piece of equipment, say I'm a commercial fire alarm technician, so let's just say I'm working on a relay connected to an air handler. The reactive side of that relay is probably going to have voltage on those wires. So I normally don't want to touch that because I don't want to get shocked. So I'll use this to work with that because I can put this on the screw and electricity will not conduct through the plastic. And I can also touch this shaft right here and don't have to worry about being shocked. I don't know if I would trust that on, say, 120 or 240 volts AC. I'm not going to touch that regardless, but I'm going to de-energize that before I work on it. But anyway, it does work to say that 50 or 60 volts or whatever that's on a air handler shutdown circuit. This allows me to, so I can put it on the screw like this, turn it with both hands. As long as I don't touch the wire, I don't have a problem. I have the Phillips #1 and I have the 1/8 inch. These are the Klein insulated precision screwdrivers. So this one right here, well, let me talk about this one. So this is a Pittsburgh one from Harbor Freight. I bought these. I mean, these the price on this is just like $5 for the set. I mean, it's kind of unbeatable, honestly. It says it's rated for 1,000 volts. I haven't stuck this thing into 1,000 volts. I'm not going to stick this thing into 1,000 volts. I don't want to be around 1,000 volts. I don't want nothing to do with 1,000 volts of electricity. Anyway, it says it's rated for 1,000 volts. I have used these around the house. I don't really use these in my job. It does have a spin cap. These little grip pads on the handle right here make it easy to turn. This is a non-slip rubber style coating on the handle. I'm not sure what this is called. It does have the plastic sleeve on the shaft, so theoretically I could put this on a screw that's connected to a wire that has voltage in. I can touch this part without getting shocked by the electricity that would be at the end of this tip where the screw is. So I've used these around the house. It's not something that gets used a whole lot often, but they are decent. Okay, this is my opinion. So this one is relatively new to me. This is a 3mm Weha insulated screwdriver. I wanted this because of the size of the handle. So right here, this handle, this does not have a spin cap on it. The size of this handle, if I really have a tight screw or something I need to work on, this handle fits in my hand better and it's easier for me to grip than, say, this one. I can grip this one pretty good, and I'll probably break the driver, you know, before I release this. I'm sure I could break that tip off without, you know, too much pressure. But this one here is easier to grab, and it's a little bit longer than this short one. Longer than the Milwaukee. It's longer than the Pittsburgh. See? And it's a little longer than the Klein even. So there they are compared to each other right there. I like this tool. I've used this around my jobs. This is an 1/8 inch tip. I want to get the, actually this is a 3mm tip, not 1/8 inch, it's metric. I want to get the 3.5mm like this and the Phillips #1. For what I don't care for on this driver is I think the barcodes printed on the tool just makes this look cheap. I get they're trying to reduce packaging. I get all that, but I just think this looks cheap. You know, this kind of looks like made something in some sweatshop somewhere with child labor. I just don't like this. I'm not saying that's what they do. I'm just saying to me, that's what it reminds me of. I just don't care for that. But anyway, it doesn't affect the performance of the tool. It's just my personal opinion about that, about the labeling of it. This is a Weha. I bought this on Amazon, and this is actually a Weha, let's see, 32012 is the part number on this. I bought it on Amazon for like $6 or $7, but I mean the size of this thing fits in my hand well. Wish they had a spin cap. That'd make it a little easier to turn, but still a good tool. The things I do like about these tools, these Klein tools, is the labels up here on the top, so I can see which driver is which when it's sitting in my tool pouch in the screwdriver sleeve. I know which one's the Phillips, I know which one's the flathead. What I don't like about these Weehaw precision screwdrivers is the heads are not marked as to is it a flathead, what size flathead, is it a Phillips, and what size Phillips it is. This driver right here stays in its own dedicated little place, so I know what this one is. This one here also stays in a dedicated place in my pouch. Pretty much know it's always stuck on 1/8 inch. Like I said, you know, I've had instances, not with this tool, but with other tools, where this tip just is so gentle in there, it'll fall out while the tool is in my screwdriver sleeve on my pouch. I'm walking down the hallway, I hear something hit the floor. There's gotta be something, my hearing's gotta be, I gotta be close to it for me to hear it, because most things I don't hear it, and I seem to block out the sound of my wife's voice most of the time. It don't matter how close how close she is. But anyway, no, seriously, I don't know. I just don't care for this. It's not in there that tough. It's easy to pull out, and if I have to remove it, and I don't quite install it all the way, and then I put this in my pouch, walk away, the tip just fell out and it's on the ground, and I might not even know about it. On the plus side, this is a little nut driver in there. I'm not sure the size, but there is a little nut driver in there, precision nut driver. Not that I use that, but it's there. These Pittsburgh ones, like I said, man, like $5 for this set at Harbor Freight. Kind of hard to beat. I mean, for just general purpose around the house, pretty good. This Klein was part of a set. I have the other ones somewhere. Good tool. I just prefer the length of the Weehaw ones, and these Wera drivers, or the ones I carry in my shirt pocket. I don't like that they're not marked on the head of the screwdriver, on the head of the tool, as to which one is the flat, which one's the Phillips. Yes, there is a different color band right here, yellow and red. I don't care for that, because then I struggle to remember which one's the Phillips. Why can't you just mark it on the head of the tool? PH1 and 1/8 inch flat, or something, so I know, and I don't have to remember which color is which. I just don't care for that. But I still use it, and I almost always, if I got this in my shirt pocket and I need I got it in my pocket like this or whatever, and I need the flathead, I'm gonna pull out the Phillips first. Oh, dang, that's the wrong one. Gotta go get the other one. And if I need the Phillips, I'm gonna pull out the flat first and so I gotta do it twice. And it's not that big of a deal. It's not like I'm wasting a ton of time doing that, but it's just something that I wish it was different, where they were marked. I really like the marking of this, and how this Milwaukee one. This is really just a sticker, I think, on the end of the driver. It's just a sticker, a paper sticker. But at least it's marked. I put this in my pocket, I know this is the Phillips, because it's marked on the end. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to y'all today about, let y'all know this is what I got going on with precision screwdrivers. If y'all have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. You can send me a DM. And I will respond to you. I'll try to respond as quickly as possible to comments, but a DM would probably spur me to respond faster. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I hope this was educational for you in some way. Thank you very much. Please like, follow, and share. I appreciate all of y'all for helping me and participating in my videos and sharing them for me. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.